Hi Northeastern, my name's Audrey Dow and I've been studying at USID for the past 2 months almost, and I wanted to share my experience with the summer semester with you guys before I head into the fall semester. So I'll be starting my spring semester tomorrow, but most of my friends who are here are starting today actually, but I was able to build a schedule that allowed me to not have Monday and Friday classes. So I'll talk about my experience with the summer semester first, and then I'll dive into like how scheduling worked for me for the fall semester. So in the summer semester, I took bioethics and writing rhetoric. The two classes were kind of different, but then both of them were very writing intensive courses, so there was a lot of writing that I had to do, which was quite hard since all the papers were due like within weeks of each other, so it was like very fast-paced classes. But I heard that was mainly because it was a summer class and they have to pack in like weeks of classes into like 4-5 weeks of classes, so it makes sense why it was so intense. So I'll start with bioethics. I really liked that class. I learned a lot about how ethics work in the medical field, in the science field, and how important philosophy is in general. So the class was nice because our lecturer or professor, he didn't really jump into like bioethics the first day, but rather he gave us like an introduction to like philosophy and taught us about like the different types of philosophy, which was really nice to have like some founding groundwork for like those who don't know that much about philosophy. And in that class, so how it was structured was my lecture would begin at 11 and then it would end at 1, so it was a 2-hour lecture which contained 2 lectures, which was how like the summer semester worked. And then after that I would have a tutorial, but my classes were only Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and my tutorials were only Wednesday and Thursday, so it wasn't that many classes, but it was like a lot of information packed into each class. And then so I really felt like the class was good because the lecturer, he was very clear with what he was saying. He was always open to questions. He'd always ask, does anyone have questions? And if you had one, he would address it and he would answer it to like the best of his abilities. And in the tutorials, we had 2 different tutors, and both of them were really good at helping us understand what we didn't get in the readings or what we didn't get in the lecture. And they would also provide additional questions for us to think about during our time in the tutorials. So overall, I felt that the bioethics class was a really fun class to take, especially like just jumping into like a new university. Now I'll talk about the writing rhetoric class. That class I enjoyed, but not as much as the bioethics class, just because like the information that we were learning in that class was a bit more dense and it wasn't as interesting as the bioethics class. In my writing rhetoric class, we mainly talked about how to structure arguments, but it tied nicely into my bioethics class because I was able to use what I learned in my rhetoric class and apply it to my essays within my bioethics class, which I'm glad that I was taking both at the same time because I was able to learn from each class and apply it to the other class. So overall, I felt like the summer semester was pretty nice. It was pretty intense, but it was okay. So now I'll just go into how I structured my classes for the fall semester. So we were given like a website where you can choose what type of times you want, and like you can suggest it to whoever's making your schedule. So I made it so that I wouldn't have classes on Monday and Friday next semester. And as well, I was also able to arrange it so I wouldn't have any 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. classes, which is really nice. But I know a couple of other students who are studying here had a little more trouble because of their major. Mainly like the science majors, they have trouble since a lot of the classes have only one class time, so you have to work around those. And for sciences, you have to have a lab, a lecture, and a tutorial, which takes up a good amount of time in your day, versus a business major where you only have a lecture and a tutorial, and they have multiple, so you can like arrange however you like, which I found really nice. So If you are a business major, I would suggest coming here to study since your schedule can be more flexible versus engineers or pre-med where it might be a little bit harder, but my friends have managed and their schedules are pretty decent now. Just wanted to give you a quick update with how things are, how the semester went, and how I look forward to the next semester. So I'll talk to you guys next week.